Moving can be stressful and expensive. That's especially true for customers of one moving company who say they were hit with sticker shock. They showed us bills for 3 times the estimates they say the company originally gave them.
And on top of that, items were damaged. We started looking into the company when a Belton customer reached out to us. Reporter Kat Reed found in a story you will only see right here on 41 Action News. The complaints extend nationwide.
Naisha Franklin's house in Belton looks picture perfect.
I'm really into decorating.
It's almost like a model home.
A lot of our things we don't even touch or even sit in. And so I just, that's why I was very disturbed about things that had happened.
After her closing date on the house changed several times, Franklin was left scrambling to find movers. She landed on All My Sons Moving and Storage, where a staff member told Franklin they could do the job.
He also quoted me a price starting at $600.
She accepted an offer and put down a deposit. Moving day was July 3rd. The problems started with the washing machine.
Before he had laid it down, he scratched my floor, brand new floors. And so I looked up underneath it before he laid it down. The dolly went up into the washing machine.
The soap dispenser was broken off too. Franklin showed us damage to 2 dressers. Then there was the dining room table.
They didn't have any covering over it, no protectors, nothing. It scratched all 4 sides and even the legs.
Again, Franklin says she was initially quoted a starting price of $600, but she didn't realize how much more she would pay by the end of her move across town.
The move ended up costing us $1,300.
Plus a tip and the cost of a brand new dining room table. Franklin says the movers told her All My Sons would pay for repairs, but her calls weren't returned. So she contacted the Better Business Bureau and the Missouri Attorney General's office. She also searched online and came across a Facebook group called All My Sons Moving and Storage Poor Business Practices.
It seems to be a nationwide problem.
Kelly Lyons started the group after her experience with a move in Alabama in July.
Description of my things, and he was like, oh, that shouldn't cost any more than $600.
She's on a fixed income and relied on the estimate. Lyons says her final bill was nearly $1,700.
Did they say that there was a possibility of it going up by as much as 3 times the amount?
No. Absolutely not.
Her group grew to nearly 100 members who shared their pictures and stories with us, like this video from a move in St. Louis. A broken table in Dallas, shattered china in Cleveland, and a poorly packed truck in Phoenix.
Now that these members are part of my page, I feel like I owe them something to try to do something about it.
So we shared the group with the president of All My Sons Moving, and he says that there is nothing more important to the company than doing the right thing if a mistake has been made. He said he's going to review some of the complaints on the page and that he'll also be taking a look at people and procedures.
We also asked about those early estimates customers got over the phone. President Chris Generali said customers are quoted an hourly rate for labor and travel, plus a standard fuel surcharge and materials if needed. Most jobs are a minimum of 2 hours. He wrote, quote, unfortunately, this minimum is what most customers recall. We understand the stress related to planning a move and are careful to explain this in detail 24 to 48 hours prior to the move on a confirmation call. Additionally, we send an email to each customer detailing exactly how hourly charges and payments work. The company is making things right. After we reached out to All My Sons, both Franklin and Lyons were compensated. For Franklin, it's the end of a 2-month ordeal, more difficult than the move itself.
This has been very stressful and time-consuming.
And Kevin, Krista, the president of All My Sons said if you want that final hard price up front, you can actually request an on-site written estimate. And he advises if you are on a strict budget, you should have them come take a look at what you have.
A lot of good advice there, Kat. So we know a lot of these complaints were recent. Any history of complaints regarding All My Sons?
There is. So here in the Kansas City area, the BBB shows 39 complaints in the last 3 years. And in 2016, the BBB actually posted an alert on their page here because of the volume of complaints. All My Sons said it was replacing some of the local crew members to address that.
All right, and what about complaints to attorneys general for the bigger picture?
Yeah, so in Kansas, we did have 2 in the past 5 years. We reached out to Missouri and we didn't get a response to that quite yet. But in other states, they have taken action. So for example, in Florida in 2016, the attorney general ordered the company to pay $100,000 in restitution to customers.
Wow, well, I guess beware and do your research. So thank you, Kat. Thank you.
Good work.